Hey, oh, good morning. I guess I'll just go right into the disclaimer. Hi, Glenn. Okay.
Yeah, get it out of the way.
Yeah, hey, Glenn. Glenn is my compliance guy at the prop firm. So there's a disclaimer. Please check
You're going to want to hit the see more button.
in the
show more.
in the description
read
box.
more.
Read that disclaimer. You're gonna like this video and subscribe to this channel. For those of you who don't subscribe, because we noticed, Kyla, you pointed out that we get more views per video than there are subscribers. So that's a big question mark above my head as to what the fuck these people are doing.
Also, we're running a little deal. For every like we get above 1,000, we're sending out $10 to each person that likes the video.
Yeah,
So
just
you're gonna
send proof. Send proof of purchase.
You're going to want, DM that to Ben and we'll get it sorted out.
No, please. Also, please, I can't keep up with DMs anymore. I can't. And I feel terrible because once I respond to a DM, I then have the DM in my inbox and I just can't. It's overwhelming. It's very hard. But anyway, we're
my
almost.
DMs are broken. That's why I don't respond.
Yeah, that's right. We're almost to the 50,000 subscriber mark. Big kiss episode. So keep telling your friends
And your family.
and your family and
Call your dad.
call your dad.
Tell him to subscribe.
Yeah, and what else was there? There was something. If you want to support the show, go to tmgstudios.tv. We don't do Patreon. We have our own special app, tmgstudios.tv app or website where you can support us directly. So go ahead and do that. So without further ado, if you've been on TikTok and you've gotten either in your For You page or you just pay attention to FinTalk. You may have seen our guest here. This is Kyla Scanlon, who is. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you said it right. No, a lot of people get it wrong.
Really?
So.
What do they say?
They say Kyla Scanlon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Isn't
weird.
it crazy how people would say Kyla?
Who would say that? I accidentally said it, yes. But you are the #1 finance creator on TikTok.
In the world. Not
the
only
world.
on TikTok.
Yeah.
Also a
No,
financial education founder.
Yeah. Funny.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I think, can we just have you
Closer to the mic.
a little bit? Maybe we can angle the mic a little bit.
Sorry.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Is that better?
Yeah, but is that uncomfortable? It looks uncomfortable.
See what I'm doing here? You don't have to do that at all.
Okay.
Just do
No,
it.
I'll
Yeah, that's great.
Sorry.
You know what it is? We got to get a third arm.
Yeah.
A third.
No,
one
this
of
is
these
fine.
things?
I just didn't know. This is all new to me.
Yeah.
I'm a beginner in the podcast game.
So are we.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're doing.
I wanted to have you on because you are consistently one of the most you're so well informed and you have a knack for consolidating a ton of really hard to understand information and putting it into a format that is easy to digest for the modern brain. The dummy brain.
The TikTok brain.
The TikTok brain.
TikTok.
Your videos
short
are-
attention span.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're all 1 minute long, correct?
Yeah, approximately. Yeah.
And you've got graphics and you've got captions in there, and it's just really so.
True.
If you don't,
There's humor. It's very
yes, your TikTok is
Kyla Scan.
so go follow her right now if you don't already, and on Twitter, right?
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram, Substack,
fun. LinkedIn.
LinkedIn,
Oh, LinkedIn's essential.
YouTube. I'm also here. Yeah.
and
yeah.
you just started your own podcast.
Well, no. So I have my YouTube, and then the YouTube gets clipped to a podcast called Let's Appreciate. So I have a
Right.
podcast too on Spotify. Yeah.
I like that name.
Let's
Let's
appreciate.
appreciate.
Yeah.
What are we appreciating?
Capital.
Capitalism.
Like money. No.
Stocks when stocks go up, they appreciate in value.
Yeah.
That's the pun, right?
Yeah.
Apple shares are just getting hammered this morning. Every day they're pounding it. Bitcoin. I'm not fucking leaving.
So tell us a bit about your background and why. How How'd you get to be so smart about stocks? You were on a credit desk.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Yeah. So I graduated, I majored in finance, economics, and data analytics, graduated, moved out to Los Angeles to work for a company called Capital Group and had a rotational program there where I supported a portfolio manager, sat on a credit desk, but really worked in operations when I was on the credit desk, just got to experience high yield bonds. And then I left that company to join another company where I spun out their investment education arm. And now I'm doing the creator finance founder thing full time. Yeah.
Cool. And what's a credit desk for?
It's like trading bonds. So when companies issue debt, they would go to this desk and be like, help us, distribute this to the world. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to like package it and make it appealing for other institutions to buy?
I didn't do that. Yeah. But like basically what they would do is just they would price out that credit and try to get it to out there. Yeah.
Did you hate it?
No, I thought it was really interesting. Like high yield is super interesting. So I would watch the traders do what they did and try and understand exactly what it was about. And I did a little work in like credit derivatives also. And so all of this was during like March of 2020 is when I was on that desk. So like during the pandemic when oil went negative and all that stuff. So it was just really interesting to kind of like watch all that unfold. Yeah.
Is that around the time you started doing creator stuff?
I started doing creator stuff back in January of 2021. So, but I've had a blog since I was in college about options trading. So I've been doing this for a while.
Was that on Tumblr?
No, it was on WordPress, which is even worse. Yeah. So yeah.
Have either of those things? Why is WordPress worse?
It's
not popular.
Like that was just a joke.
Oh.
Tumblr was also like a meme for.
Yeah, that's where the GIFs would get posted, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. It was like an aggregate for all kinds of weird.
Do you still do the blog?
Yeah. So I have a Substack now.
She
it's not
upgraded.
about I upgraded. But I still have KylaScanlon.com, which is where all the old blog posts are, where I was talking about trading, which is like pretty embarrassing.
Were you talking about trades that you were making?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
There's a reason I don't do it anymore. Yeah.
That's perfectly understandable. Can you give us what were some of your best and worst, if you can remember?
Yeah, I mean, like I was young and didn't really know what I was doing, but like I got in on a Brazilian ETF, and that was pretty bad. That blew up right in my face. And then I traded casinos. And that went well.
Penn?
So, no, Las Vegas Sands.
Oh,
Yeah.
LVS.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Were you long or short?
I was neutral. Yeah. So I'd place neutral positions.
Interesting. What are those called again?
Iron condors usually.
condors.
Yeah. You could
What is trading casinos?
like I would trade the casinos. Like I would trade the casino names on the stock
Interesting.
market. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like I'm trading oil and gas.
Yeah. Or like
And
trading Google
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never heard of that.
I never talk about it like that, but yeah. The damn iron condors, though.
Uh-huh.
So for the uninitiated, there are all sorts of different option strategies. There's
Yes.
iron condors. There's
Strangles.
strangles, straddles.
Yeah. Credit spreads.
I like doing spreads.
Yeah.
I've gotten into
that's
those a
what
little
you
bit
do.
recently.
Yeah.
Because it's basically you're buying whatever direction you want to go in. You're basically just getting a discount
Yeah.
on the long side of it. So it's like, hey, why not? But you're capping your gains.
Right.
Still, Emil's just staring at me like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
I was talking about some put spreads that I bought on Tesla 2 weeks ago, but I talked about them last week. And I closed them out earlier this week, but then I reinitiated some put spreads again this week.
On Tesla.
Yeah. I just think it's time, baby. I think it's time. I think they're done. They're not done.
Do you
but
want it to be time, or do you actually think it's time?
I actually do. I think after the BYD headline about BYD, the
Right,
the Chinese company being, and did you hear about Ford?
Yeah.
Ford.
Are you going to explain to the listener?
Yeah. Well,
Your little
do you like
inside
to?
joke?
They their sales were up 35% year over year last quarter, I think. Yeah. And just generally, it's anecdotal, but for me personally, it's that other electric cars seem like
But
they're finally.
You're like making the assumption that Tesla trades on the premise of electric cars, and it trades on the premise of Elon Musk.
Did you see what he
Who
tweeted
we'd
this
like
morning?
to offer congratulations to his
On
twins.
his babies.
Oh yeah, twin babies.
Babies.
And he tweeted this morning about should Tesla create a cargo van?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like joking about it, which is awesome. Yeah.
Oh, a cargo van or like a minivan?
I think he said cargo van.
think
I
so.
don't know.
Oh,
Like
and
that.
But he
in
was-
reference to the twins?
Yeah, like families. Like he's like, I'm helping to populate Earth, you know?
Yeah, I think
So-
he's like a big proponent of having many kids.
Sure seems that way. Yeah.
In practice, and he practices what he preaches.
Yeah.
Just wonder what kind of dad he is. I can't imagine.
I think an absent one.
Yeah.
He's
I
running.
think he said that he leaves the parenting to the mothers.
It's, yeah. Okay. Wait. What is my apology?
Oh, we'll get to that.
I don't remember. Man, my brain is.
I'm kind of worried about you. We got to
I'm
get
co-
you some.
what
like,
if I have early onset dementia? Or
I think you may.
something? That would be terrifying.
We're gonna have to get you some like ginkgo biloba or something. Doesn't that do something for your brain?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Kinda
It-
knows.
Yeah.
But you also really skirted around the Ford joke. You didn't explain it to anybody.
Yeah, I thought you were going to talk about
Yeah.
that.
Well, yesterday in the
But
car.
well, so here's
Go ahead.
Kyla was complaining, and stop me if you don't want to.
What I was complaining?
Well, you were saying that sometimes people will comment on your videos.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll be
complaining.
arguing with you, but agreeing with you,
Mhm.
and you're like, "This is the weirdest
Yeah.
way to." You're like, "I don't know what to say because we're
Right.
agreeing," but you.
It's like different realities
Yeah.
that we're inhabiting. Yeah.
And then you had said something about Ford
Yeah.
and made a point about it, and then Ben
30 minutes later.
like made it back to you.
Took out my phone and I was like, "Wow, did you guys see this? Ford up to 35%
And Ben-
deliveries up," and you just went, "I just said that."
I know. It's super used
So you
to
had
that,
like a
yeah.
real life reply guy.
Yeah.
I wish that was a one-off anomaly, but this is why I tell people to seriously don't smoke pot in your early 20s. Don't.
Or
Don't.
in your early teens.
Early teens?
A lot of people smoke pot when they're like 12, 13, 14.
Jesus Christ. Not me. And if you have access to it,
Yeah,
got-
that's impressive.
yeah, that's impressive for sure. You don't smoke pot at all, do you?
No.
Yeah, good. It's too strong. Anyway, no.
Are you good?
I did. I got woken up at 4 a.m. by a police helicopter just roaring over my house and then doing a big and then just hovering. Right, some people broke into a business right nearby, so I was woken up by that. And then I was checking futures, and then I had to pee. So
Anyway, the Ben's apology thing.
yeah, what was my apology for?
You're gonna remember when I say it.
Okay.
Your definition of recession.
Oh yeah. So I would like to. Should
Well-
we get into that?
But so I was looking into it last night.
Uh huh.
I think you maybe go off some kind of British definition.
I wish I had my monocle. So I
'Cause,
would. Go
I
ahead.
think there's a different definition in America and the UK.
Yeah, that's the one that we wanted to kick off here with, because the reason we wanted to have you on mainly was the subject matter rather has been about the recession, and you've written extensively about it. You've been talking about it a lot. You are gunning for one. You just keep telling people that you hope there's
You said
gonna be
I
a
want to
recession."
put people out of work.
You wanna
I want people. I want there to be carnage.
Yeah.
No.
You got to do it back to us, please.
No, I was just really shocked because like I got quote tweeted into oblivion, and that's like what they
You got quoted
I thought-
to oblivion. Sorry.
About there being a recession?
No, so I had that piece and I called it a vibe session, and like people on Twitter were just like really not happy with that terminology.
Oh,
which
you
is,
called the recession in general a vibe.
well,
session.
so like yeah, I mean like it's a whole thing where the economic data doesn't say that we're in a recession, and so I was like, oh, it's like a vibe session, like people are feeling like the vibes are off, and people were like, you're a horrible person, for saying that, which is, I guess, makes sense. But when you were like, oh, she's gunning for a recession, I just had like PTSD.
You thought the reason we've invited you here is because we were one of those people quit tweeting and we wanted to do it in real life.
Yeah, no, it was insane. They were like, let's take away the 19th Amendment, all this stuff. And I was like, I'm so afraid. So the one that allows women to vote.
That's what they were saying?
Yeah.
That's a really normal response to someone when you disagree with them.
No, yeah, and I made the mistake of being like, wow, this went to a horrible section of Twitter. And then people started quote tweeting that and they were like, you're garbage, you're a horrible person.
Gee.
And I was like, I'm so sad.
I'm really sorry that happened.
That's horrible.
Like
No, this is so normal.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be.
Well, I mean, like, hello. Yeah, it's life. Yeah.
Also, I feel like being in the finance world, there shouldn't be that much of a controversial thing to be. Nothing you're saying should be that controversial. The subject matter, well, I guess it can be.
You've been on FinTwit for a while.
Yeah.
Everything is controversial.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot
Just wait till you call the recession a vibe session, my man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, you want me to take it over? I'll say I coined that term.
So like now everybody's targeting me or tagging me in articles where people are talking about vibes. Like crypto people are hiring vibe officers, and people will be like at Kyla, and then like I think some article was released the other day talking about like emotions, and so like all this stuff is now coming out, and it's been coming out for a while, like how emotions are driving a lot of what the market is doing, and people are like, look, vibes.
Were you talking about like consumer sentiment and all that, basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
More of a
literally.
bad vibes. Oh, hey guys, we want to take a quick break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Public.com. Public is an investing app where you can invest in stocks, ETFs, and crypto with any amount of money.
What I love about Public is that it helps people become better investors. You can follow other investors and share ideas. People like Graham Stephan, Cody Ko, Shelby Church, and thousands more are on the app.
I joined Public, and baby, you can see what trends I follow if you just search for my name, Ben Kahn, in the app. On Public, you can buy slices of stocks, ETFs, and crypto versus full shares. Alongside thousands of stocks and ETFs, Public offers 11 crypto assets, including Bitcoin, Cardano, Ethereum, Doge, and Shiba Inu.
Plus, Public puts investors first and doesn't sell your trades to market makers like other investment apps. They route the trades directly to the exchanges.
You'll get a free stock worth up from $3 to $70 when you go to public.com/Trill and create an account. So get started today. Once again, make sure you go to public.com/Trill to get a free stock. Click the link in the description.
Well, so should we? So this is probably a good. Before we even get to all that, we
sorry,
should
I
probably
just had to explain myself.
Oh no, please. We'll give you plenty of time to address
the comments.
What's a recession?
Well, what do you think it is?
I have been told and taught that a recession technically is 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP.
But that's because Ben went to school in London, and no.
Oh.
I went to Cal State Long Beach.
But for some reason he has this British ass recession definition.
And normally I would just carry myself away into a very bad British.
Okay, so I'm on the edge of my seat. What is a recession?
Yeah, me
actually?
too.
Well, so a lot of people think it's 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, but that's not true. I think somebody said that was made up by a professor, but basically, if you go to Inber, who's the definer of recessions, they say it's a prolonged period of a decline in economic activity. So it can be anywhere from like a month, which it was in March of 2020, or it can be anywhere from a while, like it was in 2008. So it's not necessarily 2 quarters. It's a longer time frame than that, or it can be shorter. So like they look at like depth, duration, all that stuff, and they look at a bunch of different economic indicators to determine if a recession is happening.
What are some of those economic indicators?
Like personal income outlays, like different payrolls, like things like that. So basically how the economy is doing. Yeah. Like it's a bunch of different metrics, and it's kind of funny because they definitely do it based off vibes. Because if you go to the website, they're like, sometimes we look at these metrics and sometimes we look at other metrics. And so,
well, that was so. When I was looking at it last night, I was like, it feels very
fluffy.
A lot more nebulous than you would imagine,
Yeah.
and it. And it just kind of reminds me of the everyone was it Cardi B? She had the tweet of like,
oh,
are we in a
yeah.
recession? And I think it's like,
Yeah.
well, we don't quite know when we'll actually hit it, I guess, until they tell us.
Yeah. Well, like we have some estimates coming out, I think in a week for, Q2 GDP. But the reason that we had a negative print in GDP in the first quarter was because like inventory data was super wacky. And so like because of the pandemic, everything has been sort of thrown off course. And if you look at the GDP data from the first quarter, demand was still really strong. Like consumers are still out there spending, which is the most important component of GDP. Like consumer spending is 70% of GDP growth. So like things are still relatively okay, but because of the pandemic, some of the prints are funky.
Quarter over quarter, year over year, kind of.
Quarter,
yeah.
quarter, yeah. So like if you look back to Q4 2021, like that was a pretty big GDP print, and it's just hard to match that every time. Yeah.
Right. God, there goes my brain.
No, let him figure it out. If you throw him a life preserver.
Oh no, I know what I was gonna say. It reminds me of one of those, kind of like how the creator of the term GIF originally coined it as GIF,
Right.
but then there's some rule that, well, it doesn't matter because once society decides how a word is pronounced, that's just how it's actually pronounced.
Yeah.
And he gave it up. He said, "Yeah, I said it was pronounced GIF."
Yeah, but he was wrong. I don't want to get into that whole
That's
thing.
true. He was.
It stands for, what does it stand for?
Graphic interface.
So you're starting with G.
Graphic. Sure. Yeah. Anyway, does it matter? If everybody's pre-existing notion of a recession is the 2 quarters of consecutive negative growth, when that does happen, and then it just... Do you get what I'm getting
people's
at?
brains are breaking right now for sure. Yeah. Because like everyone's like, well, I think that we're in one and things are really bad and not good because like the stock market is down so much and because it's so hard to get a home. And like there's such a mismatch in the economic data and reality, right? Like you can't really go to a regular person and be like, you should be feeling good about yourself because industrial production metrics are strong. Like that's just like, okay, like no, I shouldn't be.
Don't worry about it. The jobs came back pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like they have been. And that's part of the problem is that like a lot of this stuff just doesn't make sense. And if you go to the average person who has experienced, stagnant wages and mega inflation, it's just not going to be comforting to be like.
Not only that, they seem to be kind of preparing everyone for a lot of pain. It was literally just yesterday. It might have been the Wall Street Journal. Yeah. It was this article, like basically anyone younger than 40.
That's us.
Is in for a lot of trouble. Like their jobs are going to be on the line. Like they're going to start culling the herd. I mean, even employers, you had Mark Zuckerberg coming out and talking about
not hiring as much.
They're not only not hiring as much, they're going to get rid of a lot of people. And they said, the culture is going to change a little bit. And he was like, I'm excited about it. We're going to be
leaner.
The people who can't perform in this high paced thing aren't going to be around anymore. And we're going to see who can sink or swim. So, I mean, they're putting out this message that like, well, here comes the pain.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think there's 2 components to that, right? Like the Fed has definitely been prepping people for pain because the Fed is in between like a rock and a hard place right now. Like if they don't act, if they don't do something, like it's going to be super bad in terms of how they're viewed, their credibility. And their credibility is literally what drives most of the impact that they have on the market. So if they lose that, that's a really big deal. And then in terms of like what Zuck is doing, tech is going through a really big trouble right now just because of the broader sell-off in the market. And, people are like, oh, we're going to go into value because it's safer. So a lot of growth stocks have had a big sell-off. And I think Meta, right, like they've not done, the metaverse is sort of.
Just give them time.
Yeah.
I have an Oculus and I never use it.
Yeah. Well, and that's like, of course he's going to want to fire people, like nobody's using his little headset.
Yeah. His little headset. I do think that there are practical applications for it, like for surgeons, for example, to practice doing surgery.
But he went like...
Yeah, but we're not all going to be living and working and shopping.
In the metaverse.
Who was it that just came out with a report that, was it like Credit Suisse or JP Morgan? Someone came out with a report that like, spending in the metaverse is going to exceed $1 trillion.
McKinsey did that, yeah.
Give me a fucking break.
Think about their incentives, right? Like they collect fees from consulting on the metaverse. Yeah. So of course they're going to be like, play in the metaverse, everybody.
Yeah.
Give us money so we can tell you how to do freaking PowerPoints.
On the note of the Fed, I wanted to talk about their credibility. I find it interesting what they're doing now. I think that now, how do I phrase this? They are being so stern and unrelenting in their messaging going forward about we are dedicated to making inflation focus. We're dedicated to driving
Focus.
dropping inflation, and they're not going to let up until like momentum is clearly trending downward for inflation. And a lot of people, I think, are going to be mad at them in the interim, including myself. But, you know, as you mentioned yesterday, that they do have such a hard job ahead of them, and they have, for the most part, kind of navigated this whole thing since COVID with relative
grace.
Yeah. And because their reputation is so damaged, they cannot afford to be wishy-washy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like in the minutes that were released yesterday, they didn't mention financial stability or liquidity, both of which are really big concerns because they're really focused on getting inflation down. But part of the problem with that is the economy is slowing down. So if they go like hot and heavy, you know, raising rates, that's going to be not good if the economy keeps on slowing down already. So the worry is that they will hike us into a recession. And they've hinted at that through saying the word restrictive. Like if they say the word restrictive, that essentially, you know, is an analogy for going into a recession. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But they have to. To a certain extent.
And Michael Burry, I don't know why I'm even referencing. Well, because he's a smart guy, I guess. Yeah, just keep going. Okay. Well, so Michael Burry was saying that who famously just like tweets and then deletes them.
Yeah.
Like, calm down, man. You're like a teenager on Tumblr. Am I right, guys?
Nice.
Thanks.
He's back, baby.
He was tweeting that, you know, we are so hopelessly just tied to everything the Fed does and says.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not an original idea.
No.
My favorite trader, Stan Druckenmiller, has always been. I can't wait. I got to get him on here. We got to get him on here.
Yeah, he's good.
He's so lovely. He seems like a real down to earth guy. Started from nothing, and now he's here. But he says stuff
much like Drake.
Much like Drake.
Jeff Bezos, did you see that?
No.
Jeff Bezos commented on Drake's Instagram post.
And what did he say?
He said that started from the bottom.
When did he say that?
This was yesterday. Jeez. And Drake comments back. I think it was real. I'm sorry if I'm like spreading misinformation, but
that's all we do on this show, so please.
Yeah. What did Drake say?
But Drake was like, Jeff gets it.
Jeff gets it. Oh God.
He's just trying to go on the dick rocket. Drake.
Did you see the Jeff? Not to get too far off track. Did you see Jeff Bezos on the like Space Mountain alone?
When he was all alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That had to have been for a good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he sucks and no one likes him.
Oh yeah.
Why do you he had to have, maybe he's thinking about buying the ride or something. Can you
buying Disney World?
Buy an individual ride? Whoa! Hey guys, we want to take a quick break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Fabric. I know, it's summer, and the last thing you want to do is think about life insurance. But hear me out, especially you parents out there. Fabric has incredible term life insurance policies that can be customized to your family, and you can be up and running in just 10 minutes. So then you can fully enjoy your summer worry-free because your family will be protected.
Here's the deal. Fabric was built by parents for parents to help make it easier to manage your family's finances. Fabric is all online, so everything is on your schedule. You don't need to schedule anything or make time for phone calls or appointments. Just apply online when it's convenient for you. It takes less than 10 minutes to apply, see your quote, and then personalize your quote to fit your family's needs. You could be offered coverage instantly with no health exam required. Fabric's new lower prices mean significant savings over other providers, with great quality policies like $1 million in coverage for less than $1 a day.
Ooh, Fabric also has over 1,600 five-star reviews on TrustPilot.com, and it's fully backed by Vantis Life, one of the most trusted names in life insurance since 1847. So you can feel confident that you're getting a high-quality policy that is perfect for your family. Fabric has a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can cancel at any time. Fabric's online hub lets you handle all your family's finances in one place, not just life insurance. You can create a will, start your kid's college savings plan, and even set up a rainy day savings fund.
Protect your family's financial future with Fabric. Apply today in just 10 minutes at meetfabric.com/trill. That's meetfabric.com/trill. MEET fabric.com/trill. Fabric Insurance Agency policies issued by Vantis Life. not available in New York and Montana. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
Well, anyway.
What was the Michael Burry
Michael
thing?
Burry was saying that basically the Fed is probably going to hike up rates,
right,
and the market's going to be in trouble, and then they're going to swoop in to save the day again, and they're going to drop rates, and then that's going to, it's just going to be the next cycle.
That's how,
right.
Yeah, that's how cycles work.
And the Fed has this horrible job because they can only really do one thing related to demand.
Isn't that crazy?
And it seems like the rest of
silly.
the government refuses to do anything to address any supply issues.
Yeah.
I wish
We're all
someone
just
would
scream at the Fed as we plunge into a recession.
I want to know why Jerome's mouth is so tiny, tight. Let's pull up a picture.
No,
You don't want to see his
we
mouth?
literally just did this.
We did?
I'm actually worried about you.
Man, I really do need some goers.
Luke or Zach, did we not?
Did we do that before?
Okay, take it off.
Look at his
take
dumb
it
mouth,
off.
though.
Take it off.
We can't get enough of his tiny little butthole mouth.
I like him.
You like it? Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you could say you like his mouth. I was gonna be like, oh, okay, no, that's fine.
Ben, we're
No.
gonna talk after the show.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm in trouble. It's they're gonna take away my car and my license. I get car sick. I can't take Ubers everywhere. You're giving me such a mean look. Oh, this is par for the course. Anyway, you like him. You felt like he handled everything as best he could.
Yeah, I mean, I get DMs accusing me of being like a Fed sympathizer and stuff, but I think that they're doing the best that they can. And I think like when you hear him speak, he sounds like he really does care, and I think he's like, imagine being Fed chair during, 2 presidencies and during the pandemic and during a war. Like, that's just a lot to process and to try and work around. I think that they definitely could have moved faster than they did on raising rates. But I also think there was things like your point around, what's fiscal policy doing? Like, literally, what's the government doing? Like, where are they? And that was because they had lack of leadership clarity at the Fed. And so that made it difficult for them to implement different policies. And then, there's just a lot of stuff that went wrong.
Like, he didn't know if Joe Biden was going to reappoint him.
Yeah. And then also they had that, like, the mandate, right? So like they're responsible for price stability and maximum employment. And so they were like, we got to wait until we're certain that the labor market is okay before we go hiking rates. And they were not sure if the labor market was okay. And then the labor market turned out to be okay. And they were like, all right, but inflation was already raging,
Right.
So, yeah.
Can you explain maximum employment?
Yeah, I mean, it's like kind of fluffy too, but basically it's the point at which the economy is like at maximum.
They're like, we know we need a certain amount of people to be out of a job. We just don't know exactly where it is.
Yeah, right.
What's it at right now? 3.
And we're trying to find.
It's really low.
Yeah.
And like with so it used to be full employment and now it's maximum. And maximum takes into account like diversity, like making sure that everybody is employed rather than just certain people. So it's that component too. Yeah.
Maximum employment sounds more fun. It's a little extreme.
Yeah.
I'm going for maximum employment.
Oh yeah, dude. Sounds like a ride Jeff Bezos would ride. Am I right?
I don't think he would ride maximum employment.
You don't think so?
He would ride like...
They need so many employees.
Oh, they're firing people though.
Yeah, like how many?
I don't know exactly, but yeah, Amazon's letting people go. It's tough out there.
We were sharing an article with each other where they had leaked memos from Amazon. Did you see they were talking about how they were worried they were going to run out of employees?
No.
Because they've hired and let go and fired so many people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they only have such a pool of people they can pull from.
Yeah.
That they're like, holy shit, by 2024, we might not have any more people to hire.
You got to have robots.
That's max employment.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy.
Powered by Amazon.
Yeah.
That's max employment. The other thing that we wanted to talk about, another big indicator of a recession, like an old one, is the bond yield curve.
Mm-hmm.
And you love bonds.
Yeah.
You say it so accusatory.
No, but
you love bonds.
Well,
I've got an email here saying that you love bonds.
Yeah.
So which ones are your favorite? You like that?
Which are the cutest?
You pay attention to the 10 and the 2.
Yeah, no, I pay attention to the whole curve, right?
Right.
You have to.
So for those of you who don't know, like, I know, but so other people might not, but I do.
Yeah.
I do. But can you explain? I swear to God, I know. You're really good at explaining things, so perhaps you could let people know what the yield
the
curve
10 and the
is.
2 are more than just your hands when you're driving.
Yeah, baby. Or 9 and 3. You can do 9 and 3 if you drive.
That's a California thing, baby.
Yeah, okay.
In New Jersey,
I just do 6 o'clock.
In New Jersey, if you move from 10 and 2, they're like, get out, you failed.
I also do about 7 p.m. just with my left knee.
Yeah, that's
7
good too.
p.m. That's the California way to drive. Anywho, what is the yield curve?
I mean, it's just like where different bonds are issued, right? So like there's all these different durations for bonds. So like you have 3 months, you have 2 years, you have 10 years, you have 20 years, to 30 years. And so like that's the entire curve. And you like companies and the government issues debt at those points in order to finance their operations. So the treasury curve is what the government does. So the government is going to issue different bonds and get that financed so they can do different projects, so they can pay different bills. And the deal is with the yield curve is if certain parts of it invert. So like, let's say that 2-year yields are higher than 10-year yields. That means that people are not feeling super good about the future, right? And so like that inversion is not good because you would want it to be upward sloping because that means that people are expecting the government to like do good stuff and get things figured out.
Right.
It means they're hopeful about the future.
Exactly.
And when you say the curve, this is how it's plotted on a graph.
Right.
That's the visualization of where the
and prices and yields are inverted, so it's like it can be a little bit confusing.
Because the lower the price of the bond, the higher the yield, and vice versa. The higher the price of the bond, the lower the yield.
Right.
So just yesterday, was it yesterday?
It's been for a while. Yeah.
The inversion occurred.
The 2 10s. Yeah.
The 2 years yield has surpassed that of the 10-year.
Yeah. Yeah. And like this happens and it's okay. But like once the 3-month 10-year inverts, that's kind of like when people are like, oh, yikes. But it's okay. But like it's normally an indicator for a recession. It doesn't necessarily mean that a recession is here, but it's just a sign of like people just not feeling good also.
I got to say, I don't want to get any hate, but I'm starting to think a recession might be a vibe session.
Yeah, that's right. We definitely didn't coin that term here first, so bring all the hate to us. Didn't the yield curve invert in 2018?
Yeah, like, I mean, this thing is always inverting.
Yeah, exactly.
It inverts all the time. It's goofy. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it might have been an indicator. I mean, it still can be, but it just feels like an outdated metric. Right? Kind of?
Yeah, I mean, like, the whole, I mean, everything is kind of weird. Like, you could get into the super technical stuff where, you know, like, what's going on in Japan impacts the U.S. Treasury market because the yen is, like, falling off a cliff, and Japan is one of the biggest buyers of U.S. Treasuries, and so, like, that's kind of funky, right? And then it's like, what is the demand for U.S. Treasuries? Like, is there liquidity demand from different companies, like different asset managers, in order to buy the U.S. Treasuries in the first place? And so like there's all these different things that impact how treasuries move.
What do you think about the people who express concern? Because Zero Hedge, for example, who, for those of you who don't know, Zero Hedge is famous, one of the biggest doom and gloom blogs out there.
The name names.
Yeah.
Has
name
me
drop.
blocked on Twitter, along with Michael Burry, along with Sven, what's his name, Heinrich. All the perma bears have me blocked.
I message Michael Burry every day and I say, unblock Ben, coward.
You should, because I would love to have him on the show. I think he'd be a great guest. But it seems like with the proliferation of TikTok and I wouldn't say micro influencers, but I'm getting a lot more perma bears on TikTok on my feed.
Yeah.
And a popular refrain seems to be that with interest rates rising, that means that the United States debt is going to become increasingly impossible to service.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I mean, like, maybe, right? Sure. But like, they'll manage it, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, I definitely think it's something to watch out for, and it's something that the Fed pays attention to. But like, the Fed and the Treasury are essentially like buddy buddies. Like, the Fed is a pseudo.
I wish it was pseudo.
I always get yelled at for that. Okay.
Kind of sounds
pseudo.
Italian.
Yeah.
Pseudo government.
So it's that government entity. So like, they definitely know what's going on within the government, and they're not going to like price the U.S. out of its own debt. But to your point about perma bears, like, that sells, right? Like, if you're telling people that the world is ending and you should subscribe to my newsletter because of that, like, they're going to, right?
And they always have so much data to back it up. They always have impressive arguments. They're always very articulate in how just they lay out they really make me every time. I'm so gullible and I am so easily impressionable.
Yeah.
And when I read this stuff, especially when the market is deep red, I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to buy a bunker. Because that's how they always make you feel.
Right.
Like the world is about to end. But according to Zero Hedge, the world has been about to end. The world has been ending for
ever.
Well, if you just keep calling, you'll eventually get it right.
Exactly. Hey guys, we want to take a quick break to thank another sponsor of today's episode, Shopify. Ooh, baby, you hear that sound? Well, it is the sound of yet another sale on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. Shopify is a platform designed for anyone to sell anywhere, giving entrepreneurs like myself the resources once reserved for big business, customized for my needs, with a great-looking online store that brings my idea to life and tools to manage my day-to-day and drive sales.
Making your idea real opens endless possibilities. It's a journey, but that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. I love how Shopify makes it easy for anyone to successfully run their own business. Shopify powers millions of entrepreneurs just like me, from first sale to full scale. And every 28 seconds, a small business owner makes their first sale on Shopify.
Get started by building and customizing your online store with no coding or design experience. Access powerful tools to help you find customers, drive sales, and manage your day-to-day. Gain knowledge and confidence with extensive resources to help you succeed. Plus, with 24/7 support, you're never alone. More than a store, Shopify grows with you.
This is possibility powered by Shopify. Go to shopify.com/trill, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Start selling on Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/trill right now. Shopify.com/trill.
I was reading, this is kind of an old thing, but for those of you who don't know, in addition to the talk about printing the $1 trillion coin and whatnot, it would be fun. I was reading an article about how we could maybe pin all our debt onto a single person and then kill that person. Well, someone who's dying already. Someone who's already died.
Somebody who
That's
take
a
the
real thing they're like weighing?
So it's a real thing that's technically possible, right?
Don't look at me. I don't know.
You're smarter than us.
I'm not going to advocate for that.
Well, I'm not asking you to advocate, but would it be possible, theoretically? Like, if they were to put it all on the meal.
So, like, no, right?
Please. Please. I'm begging you.
Ready to go.
I'll do it. I'll be like Bruce Willis at the end of Armageddon.
That would be kind of cool, though, to be the savior of the country. To, like, give me all the debt and then push me off a cliff. I would ask them to strap me to like a rocket.
Yeah.
Like, just blast me up into the moon. At least send me out
in a cool
directly
way. Into the sun.
You'd burn up long before you even hit the sun.
Not me, baby.
The corona would eat you up. So that's possible, though, right?
Welcome
to our podcast.
I don't think that like China would be very happy about that.
Oh, right.
Japan would not be very happy about that. Europe would not be very happy. So
yeah, but you're not. There's nothing they could do about it.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
No, I'm
Exhume the
joking.
body? Go after our families?
Like, yeah, they would.
So it is possible with domestic debt, maybe.
Yeah.
Look, Ben, these are like private student loans, man. These things have been co-signed. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's do it with student loans then. Put them all on you.
Ooh.
Yeah. Poor moron. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
What do I care?
I was going to say you could file for bankruptcy, but
You can't discharge them in bankruptcy.
yeah.
That was a Joe Biden thing. That's fun.
Joe Biden. So what else did we have here? Why we got the yields?
We could.
What?
Well, Joe Biden actually, his tweet did lower gas prices.
It worked
for as much shit as we gave him.
It worked.
He finally stepped up.
Miracle of miracles.
Tweeted at these damn oil companies.
Oil is so goofy right now.
It sucks because even when oil drops, it's like gas prices in California just make a higher low.
Yeah,
they stay.
Sticky.
Yeah.
It fucking drives me insane.
I know. I saw someone tweeted like the chart and it plunging, and they were like, "Well, it'll just be 10 days before we start seeing some lower gas. And I was like, okay, I can hold out. I got like a quarter tank of gas. And then I was like, this isn't fucking coming.
Kyla, why are gas prices? Why are they? Well, because we were talking a little bit about oil and gas. And
oil is so,
what's going on?
So, okay, so like it's actually, I don't know. And there's a guy named Roy Johnston who does a great job covering oil. And I tagged him in a tweet this morning because crude, crude production, so crude oil production, we were expecting negative 1 million barrels for this recent, like, I don't know the exact like amount of time, but like negative 1 million barrels of crude production. And it turned out to be positive 8 million.
Oh shit, that's
so
great.
They overproduced and overproduced on oil. And so I tagged Rory and I was like, because he's an oil analyst, and I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I don't know. And so like it's just, oil is so wild right now because you have Russia, right, who is just waging war on Ukraine.
We've heard.
I don't know if you've seen it. And that's really bad. And then you have Saudi Arabia, who's like, we can't produce any more oil. Sorry, everybody. Like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, because we're at spare capacity, or we're going to hit that.
And they're like, Joe Biden, say we're good.
Yeah.
Or we'll keep you bad.
Yeah. And so Joe Biden is like, hinting that he's going to go over there and like be friends with them. And then he, like, this administration, no offense, but just has no concept of how gas prices work, because you can't just
take that, Joe Biden.
But you can't just like tweet and be like, oh man, you better lower those prices, guys, or else, even though it did work. But like basically oil is going, or was going down. Now it's back up today. I don't know when this goes out. Who knows?
Tomorrow. So yesterday for you guys, today for us.
from the past. Yeah.
From the past.
Yeah. So oil was up like 6% this morning, but it was down yesterday. It's right around that $100 line. And part of the reason that it's going down is because people are like, oh, I think that we're going to go into a recession. So Citigroup has like a $65 price target on oil, and it's at $100 right now. And it's just like nobody really knows what's going on. Goldman released a note literally saying like, we don't really know what's going on. Like,
I love all these guys coming out and just like Jerome Powell famously.
That was a great quote.
Finally understand how
that we
understand about inflation.
Unreal.
And Goldman is coming out and just being like, I don't know anymore. Okay. And the oil guys are like, we thought it was negative 1 million and somehow we got 8. Help us. You guys are doing nothing. This is crazy.
Negative 1 million sounds so made up too. Like,
yeah.
Hey, how much oil? Negative 1 million? I don't know. Did someone's child show up to work that day and make that estimation?
But I think that is part of the fun of this show for us, is pointing out that,
nobody knows
how the house of cards that we've built, and we've built these administrations of experts, and it as scary as it is, it can be fun to watch everyone squirm.
Mm-hmm. Nobody holds anybody to account if their price targets are off. They just readjust them. Like, who fucking cares? Nobody's, except for Kathy Wood. She gets kind of taken to the woodshed recently because her shit is insane.
Well, yeah, she goes a little too hard in the paint. She's like, what if we had GDP grow by 50%?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's
That's so...
It's that Catholic optimism, or Christian optimism. I don't know if she's Catholic. Is she? But
I don't know what she is.
She's just like...
We're in Archegos, Bill Fong, yeah.
She's like...
The same guy.
They believe that they're guided by God.
God,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that arc...
Which is certainly possible.
Sure, yeah.
They may be.
Maybe. That's... Yeah, God is bullish on GDP growth and...
God is bullish on America. I mean, we got him on the money. He's kind of got to live up to it. Did you see that? Did we went over there to make a deal with Iran on oil, and then just turned around and said, "Nah, we're not going to do it. We're going to sanction you more."
A while ago.
Or was that this week, or like 2 days ago for the listener?
Ben, you can't bring it up and then go, I don't know. You tell me.
Well, because I maybe I'm not going to get into it. It's a different thing, but
you're like, so we did that.
No, I was going to say maybe I dreamt it.
No, this happened. I just wasn't sure. Like, yeah, because Iran is under sanctions because nukes, and so, or nuclear power. So, yeah, I mean, like, and they're a big producer of oil as well. But yeah, that's the whole thing, is like, we're going back to, or the United States is going back to all these countries that they're not supposed to be like technically friends with and being like, hey,
Right.
we hear you have oil. Yeah.
Sorry we wrote that Tumblr post about you guys.
The Biden administration was very much like, we're taking a hardline stance on Saudi Arabia and being like,
too.
what they did with Khashoggi is unacceptable, blah, blah. And now they kind of have to be like, we were fucking joking, dude.
They have to do this.
Yeah. Hey, MBS, it was a bit, dude.
Yeah.
What? So the EU just yesterday, again, 2 days ago for the viewer.
It was 2 days ago, actually.
Oh, so 3 days ago
yeah.
for tomorrow, but 2 days ago for us today here in the present. The past for you. I love doing that.
It stresses me out.
But they reclassified gas as green energy. Did they do that to get around something legally?
Yeah, I mean,
it would be easier to reclassify gas as green versus...
yeah, right, because they're in an energy crisis because they were super reliant on Russia. And that didn't work out super well. And now they're kind of trying to figure stuff out. And their whole thing was like, oh, we'll go to renewables. Like, we'll make sure that we're green energy here in Europe. And now that is having to be backpedaled just because of like the... not having enough energy.
They can't do it quick enough. And they're reclassifying nuclear as...
Great, which I think is good, yeah, because, I mean, if Germany hadn't shut down their plants, they would be in a different situation than they are.
And what? They'd be worse off.
They'd be better off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So why'd you say they would be fucked?
Well, because they're about to be cold. They're shutting down the pipeline to do some work on it, and it's probably not going to go back online.
No, she's saying if they hadn't shut down the nuclear plant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like if they could go back in time and be like, nuclear is not bad,
right.
That would be a totally different situation than now. Like Russia is going to shut down Nord Stream 2 or Nord Stream 1, which is like this big pipeline into Germany, and everyone's like, well, Russia reopen it, who knows?
Right. It's not necessarily, they're not like permanently shutting, it's like a maintenance thing.
It's maintenance.
Okay. But we still don't know.
But...
Well, they might. There have been musings that they might not turn it back.
Sure.
On. Yeah.
But that is not the plan.
Yeah. We got to get. That's.
You guys are skeptical on Russia.
Russia?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I don't know why, man. They haven't done anything recently. You know.
Ben just showed me a text under the table that said you can never trust a Russian, which is crazy.
That's certainly not true. I didn't say that. You can trust them.
It's not the people, right? It's like what's happening from a leadership level.
Oh, sure. I'm familiar.
Yeah.
Well, we have been raised on movies where Russians are the bad guys.
Probably not you so much. She's younger than us.
Yeah, but they still...
Laptop's going to die.
She got a lot of... Well, I don't want to say who the bad guys in movies were. We all know who they were.
Who?
It shifted to then it was like Middle Eastern.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When we were kids, it was like these goddamn Ruskies.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking of Rocky 3.
Yep.
Rocky 3?
It might be 4, actually, but I can't remember.
With, what's his name? Who in real life is
Ivan Drago. He's like a scientist. He's super smart. Sorry, we're leaving Kyla behind here. I know. You know what it is? No.
It happens, though. Again, I don't know why.
I'll tell you why, because
parents about it.
He said it.
No, this is so common.
What?
People calling me Kayla. It was so sad. I wrote a blog post about this when I was in college because like all the professors would be like, Kayla? And I'd be like, and I wouldn't correct some of them because it was just so embarrassing. He called me Kayla.
No, I didn't.
Well, so
it sucks too because I'm sympathetic to that because my name is Emil and everyone gets it wrong. And it's a weird...
What do they call you?
The weirdest thing is that people, they just never see the name Emil, so they see it, and they just, their brain just finishes, and they go, Emilio? And it's like, how did you add 2 letters to it, my guy? They're just like, it must be cut off.
Yeah. No, this is really good to spare yourself the embarrassment and the humiliation of getting our guest's name wrong. It happens to me, too, man. Wait, so in college, people did that to you a lot?
I mean, my whole life. Yeah, my whole life I've been getting called the wrong name. Yeah.
Same.
It's close.
I have people I know in my life that still they just call me Neil, and I'm like, it's been 2
Neil?
Because I say
Go on.
I'll be like, I'm Emil, and they're like, great, I don't know what that is, but I know Neil. His name must be Neil. And then we're not close enough where I'm like, it doesn't really matter. I'll let him call me Neil. And then it's like, damn, it's been 5 years and I've just let this go and I can't say now, oh, I'm not Neil.
My friend's wife is named Alia, spelled Alieh. And like 2-3 years into knowing this woman, I just had a brief lapse where I just was like suddenly not confident that I knew it. And I was like, is it Aaliyah? I called her Aaliyah. And she was like, it's Alia. And I went, I knew it. I just had a lapse. You know, sometimes you can't. I've done that multiple times. I had another friend, like, this isn't the one, but this is just the name that's popping into my head. Leah and like Leia. Leia. It's easy to do. And then you get corrected. You get a little knock on the head.
You know what we need to do? In Greece, they have like 5 names.
Gracie's Greek.
And I remember what they do is they name the firstborn son after the dad's dad and the secondborn son after the mom's dad. And I remember my parents my mom explained it to me, and I said, but wouldn't everyone just end up having the same name? And she was like, no, it works out. But then we went to Greece, and I was like, literally everyone here is the same name. There's like 5 fucking names. It's like Spiritos, Yorgos, Panioti, like
Panioti?
Nikos.
Isn't that a bread? Oh, that's...
No, Panioti, it's a name.
But what's the bread? That's the one that the Italians eat.
Pita?
No. The big loaf that you eat on Christmas. It's like a gift. It comes in a box.
Oh, a panna cotta?
Yeah, panna cotta. Thanks. You fucking Goomba. I can say that.
He can't.
It's the bad guys on Mario anyway. The bad guys in Super Mario Brothers. It's the little thing. They're called Goomba.
Kyla, I'm so sorry about him. I'd like to say he's not normally like this, but he is.
Oh.
Yeah, Goomba. There you go.
I thought that was a slur or something.
It is a slur, but that's what they're called.
Wait, why are they called a slur?
I don't know. Well, that's the thing that's funny about Super Mario Brothers. It's a Japanese-made game that's based on Italian stereotypes. They seriously were just like, let's come up with the video game about an Italian. And what's this Italian's name going to be?
I feel
Mario.
Like when I go back to New Jersey, my friends are going to be like, you shouldn't let him talk to you like that. Nah, I've been listening to your show. I don't like the way he talks to you.
I lived with an Italian. He told me it's fine. There's one word for Italians that you can't say.
We've gone through this too. I'm so worried about him. Like, we're just looping. I feel like I'm like with my aging wife, and it's like, and I'm just like, yeah, no, there's one you can't really say, honey.
Well, so not to jump around, but you know what? Telemarketers used to get my last name wrong all the time. My last name is Khan, and it's spelled C-A, oops, C-A-H-N, and they would say Chan every time. Is Mr. Chan home? I'm like, you don't know our last name.
Yeah, it must be tough to have your name be wrong.
Yeah, it must be tough getting your name mispronounced.
2 days in a row.
Yeah, 2 days.
That's why, honestly.
It's okay. Who cares?
No, I'm so pissed. I'm so sorry.
Why are you pissed?
Yeah, she's the one who's pissed at you.
I'm also pissed at
this. Is humiliating. So FOMC. Huh,
why are you pissed? Because I don't experience anything but anger. I don't know how to.
It's my only emotion.
Other feelings.
We've got only a few minutes left here.
Really?
Should we talk about?
So let's try to put a nice ribbon on the recession and everything.
Yeah.
And then,
do you think that one is coming? Truly? Like, what is your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, like, I've written a lot about it, right? And so, like, I've written 3 pieces on it. And in each piece that I write, like, I'm like, okay, it's looking worse and worse and worse. And
great.
But I think, like, things are okay. It's
so, I mean, that's the thing. We've been watching this, like, it's changed even the way that, like, it feels like when we were watching inflation, it was like the transitory. Oh my God, it's getting bad. And then it was the same thing with, we're trying to do this soft landing, and then they said softish landing. And now it's just like, we might just fucking crash.
Well, and like the Fed is so intent on raising rates to signal that they're very serious about inflation, right? And I think that is concerning. But you're seeing, labor metrics are still relatively okay, but company hiring plans are looking not good. Earnings expectations are really strong, but everybody's like, maybe they shouldn't be, right? So there's a lot of mix in the economic data that makes it super confusing. And I think the worse that people feel, the more likely that we are to end up in a recession, just because of people pulling back on spending, which is a huge portion of GDP growth. Companies pulling back on spending, huge portion of GDP growth. And the government is being like a little bit not spendy, and that's also a portion of GDP growth is like government spending. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Yeah.
This is a like, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, because I feel like it's like there's no good answer, but we get it sometimes. I feel like people are like, well, what should I do if a recession comes?
Yeah.
Do you have any to offer?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, right? So like there's the investing component, and then there's like the personal component. So investing, if you're, a younger person, like in your 20s or your 30s or your 40s even, your time frame for holding stocks is probably going to be like 10 to 20 years. And so you just kind of have to hang on and realize that stuff like this happens, which is like a really not the best thing to say, and I don't like saying it because it's just like suck it up, but that's a component of it too, is like you just have to deal with downturns. From the personal component, like if we do enter a recession, that's when friends and family begin to lose their jobs, or like you could lose your job, and that's really scary. So I think like it's just like you have to maybe like reskill, or like think about what you want to be working on and sort of align yourself towards that. So that's a harder portion of that question to answer.
Maybe start hanging around your boss's office and just saying stuff like, boy, what would you do without me? Yeah. Pretty important around here. Things might fall apart if you ever had to get rid of me.
Yeah. What we need is to get everybody to go out and spend, I don't know, $500. Go buck wild.
Well, so no, right? But that would be inflationary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's such a fine line to walk. And that's why the Fed's job is so hard, is because they have to like, if you think about, what's it called when the guys walk in between the canyons?
Oh, tight.
Is it tight roping?
It's not tight roping. It's
like it's
slacklining.
Yeah, I think. So like they're doing that, but for the whole economy. And so if you think about how hard that is, like, right, yeah.
And it's being televised, and we're all watching it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fuck, we're gonna watch this guy die.
Yeah, and like today, James Bullard, who is on the Fed or in the Fed, is talking presumably to like calm people down, right? Or well, he'll be like freaking out. But there's a lot that the Fed does in between meetings to try and like drive the narrative as well. But the main thing is that they have to control the narrative, and that is why they're being so aggressive. Is to try and control.
There's quotes coming out from these guys every day.
Yeah,
it's insane.
They're talking a lot.
Where are they that they're just getting quoted every day?
They're doing different conferences.
God damn, these guys are celebrities.
Yeah, the famous Jerome Powell quote. He was just like on a panel.
Well, that was actually that was the ECB beating of central banks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the
so
European
like that.
Central Bank.
European Central Bank.
For the listener.
And so that was when they were all like Lagarde, who I think that's how you say her last name. Lagarde was like, we're never going back to essentially the economic regime that we were in for the past 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a lot of stuff that came out of that meeting. But like the problem is like a lot of stuff comes out every single day. Like in that, it makes it so confusing for people because they're like, oh, things are good, things are bad. It's just that felt really redundant to say, but
yeah, I mean that's the way it feels watching from home. You're like, I can't make heads or tails of this.
Yeah, there's so much information out there and so much constantly coming out. What feels like very pertinent, pressing news today by tomorrow or next week is already it's priced in.
Yeah.
If it hasn't already been priced in by the time it comes out, it's already the market has taken that into account.
Yeah.
So that's what hope that I have is that we've already dropped the NASDAQ has dropped 25-30%, whatever it is. The SPY's down. Was that a burp?
I think maybe it's her. I heard it in my ears. I don't think it was me.
Oh yeah. No, maybe it was me. Sorry about that, guys. But there's part of me that thinks, well, maybe the worst of it is kind of priced in to an extent. That's what's always tricky is it priced in or is it not? And
I mean, yeah, there was a funny tweet. I forget who it was. It was some finance guy, but he was talking about he was tweeting about like, wait, so because jobs report comes out tomorrow, and he's like, if the jobs are good, is that good or bad? And everyone's like so confused.
Because if bad news, I remember trading during that kind of market where bad news was actually good news because it meant that the Fed was going to keep its foot on the gas pedal, and good news was also good news because it just meant that things are improving. And it's very crazy making that all news is good news. That's what it was like from 2020, March of 2020 until basically like a few months ago. All news is good news. It's all good.
Yeah, but I think this is the opposite.
Yeah, now it's kind of like if it's a good print, it feels like, well, that's just because the bad print hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah.
And it's still lurking out there, so fuck.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited. Things are still pretty bad.
Yeah, folks. What else do we have? Hey, did you see the Minions movie?
No.
No, yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Do we want to get in? Do we have time for Crypto Corner?
We can do crypto in the bonus.
Okay.
Oh, I can hear that.
Yeah.
Kyla, are you okay? Did you hear something?
Oh, maybe it was him that burped.
Yeah, it was probably Zach.
Yeah. That's not cool, dude. Zach, can you
Why don't we
burp?
have, if Kyla can stick around for bonus, why don't we have Kyla convince us on crypto being good?
What's with the collapse?
I don't know.
Also, totally, you don't have to. I know you got work. You got a whole job.
Yeah.
And today's a big day. So, in conclusion, this has been Trillionaire Mindset episode 42? 41?
41.
41. Wow, that was that ghost again in the ear. You want to do some plugs for us? What would you like to plug?
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. My username is Kyla Scan.
On YouTube?
On Twitter. I don't know why I'm struggling with this. But Twitter, Instagram, Kyla Scan.
You forgot.
Then I have TikTok as well. Yeah, Kyla
Is that
Scan.
Kyla Scan?
Yeah. And then YouTube. And then Kyla.substack.com is where I do my writing. And
wow, you got Kyla.
Yeah.
You're probably the most famous Kyla.
No, there's actually a Kyla who was in that movie where the dogs came to life.
No one knows that.
No.
Where the dogs came to life?
Yeah, like she was a vet.
Dr. Doolittle?
Yeah. Kyla Pratt. Pratt.
Okay. Well, you got your work.
What about
for
Kyla
you.
Minogue?
That's
Kylie Minogue. Fuck.
But yeah, Kyla.substack.com. I'm on YouTube. Yeah, you can search Kyla Finance, and
Do you think Kyla Pratt is like so pissed? She's like, I wanted that fucking Substack.
Probably.
Maybe.
Probably. You
Yeah.
better keep an eye out over your shoulder.
Honestly,
Do you think I'm the most famous Emil?
Emil Saran.
Who's that?
He's my favorite philosopher.
Oh,
Yeah.
that guy's dead.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yes.
Man, I majored in philosophy. I don't even know who that is.
Really?
Yeah. Again, I'm dumb.
He's
So
good.
dumb.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, he totally is.
What was one of his most famous?
The trouble with being born.
Oh.
Is
He is a pessimist, but like also an absurdist.
a famous Emil trait.
Yeah, I'm sure. And so he writes a lot about like how life is kind of silly, but it's like funny that it's so silly. So he is like Camus, like those kinds of guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
we love Camus.
Yeah.
He wrote a book.
Multiple books.
Yeah.
Multiple books.
Name it
The Stranger.
The Stranger.
No, I think it's pronounced Stranger.
Maybe if you say it French.
No, that's how it is. Goop on my is this? Oh, it's just
Are you
my
a big
own palm
Camus
sweat.
fan?
So you're a pessimist?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
But
But,
you're
like-
also against the perma-bears. That's an interesting juxtaposition.
Yeah. I try to remain objective in my analysis.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
I'm constantly remaining objective in my
But she's like Sisyphus. You have to be happy rolling
Yeah,
the
exactly.
boulder up the hill.
Yeah.
Doesn't
every
he
day.
also get his liver pecked out? Who's the one who gets his liver eaten
Like-
daily?
Oh, that's
Come on, dude.
that's
You're
not-
Greek. Who's the one who gets his liver eaten out every day?
I'm trying to remember. I
Can
don't.
we Google Greek liver eater or something?
Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Oh,
yeah, punished
that's-
by Zeus.
That's a good Substack. Prometheus research.
Oh, that's a good Substack.
Yeah.
Don't plug them. We'll bleep
Sorry.
that out. The only good Substack there is Kyla.Substack. And don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
It's not Kyla Pratt talking about her movies.
No.
This is finance.
Yeah.
This is pessimism, philosophy.
Well, it is.
It's all coming at
I
you.
write about like the intersection of like people, the economy, and philosophy.
That rocks.
Yeah. So I talk a lot about. There it is. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
Look at that.
that's a
That's so
meme.
fun.
That's a meme I made. But the industrial. So the dinosaurs are watching the comet, and it's like, what the industrial production metrics, and then I draw drawings.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. The vibe session piece is right there, and people made a lot of fun of that picture, which was super fun to experience.
I'm sorry you experienced that.
I am so used to it. Yeah. But
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to ask everybody to leave a comment about what you enjoyed about this episode.
I hope they
Only
do.
positive comments,
Please.
which is what we used to ask anyway for ourselves. 'Cause
Yeah.
We're so new to this.
Oh, yeah.
Only
but then
good comments.
I stopped looking at them because,
you have to.
yeah, I couldn't handle it.
They're
crazy.
They're mean.
Yeah, people are crazy.
We have
mean.
feelings too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta like like sometimes I post that on Instagram. I'm like, I have feelings. Like
Yeah. I posted like literally, I forget that I have like followers now because I didn't have any before this started. And I just like posted pictures of me and my friend going to Greece. And like people were just like roasting what I was wearing and stuff. And I was like, yo, I'm just having a good time.
Maybe there's some truth to those roasts, dude.
Yeah, but what is it? Let me just be bad at dressing and have a good time.
You're not bad at dressing. What, did you have your bucket hat and your little tater?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good look.
I'm fucking trying to beat the sun, you know?
yeah, you got to, or else it'll beat you.
Exactly right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Reminds me, I'm getting my mole check next week. Why, that's funny.
It's just an overshare.
Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of that on this show, let me tell you. Well, I hope you had a good time.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
we certainly did. And I hope you won't be too embarrassed to
I have none of
have
that
this
left.
exist
Yeah.
out on the internet.
You haven't what?
I don't know if you I cosplay as like Jerome Powell essentially in my videos, so like it's tough to get embarrassed anymore. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I know what that's like to not get embarrassed. I've had naked videos of me on the internet at this point.
But he also sends them. That's how they get there.
Well, to friends. to friends and my brothers. Just
But then you get very like put off when you get one.
when I get a nude video from
Yeah, like I've sent you one of. Well, let's not do.
Yeah, sure.
What? Did he say it or did I?
I don't know. I think it was Zach. So that concludes this episode. Kill your parents, quit your job, shit your pants. That's our slogan.
That's Ben's slogan.
Your reaction was so great.
That's so violent.
Yeah. Well, it has to do with like
There's context.
the origin story.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Of
Because someone accused me of killing a parent, and I did quit my job, and I
Right.
did shit my pants.
It's really Ben's slogan.
Yeah, it's my thing. So anyway, thank you again for coming on. Next time you're in Los Angeles, we would love to have you back. And it's going to be exciting to see your financial career continue to blossom. You're doing amazing things. It's really cool. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So that's it, right?
Yeah, Ben, we got to get you to the doctor.
Okay. Whatever you say, pal. For my mole check, right?
Sure, buddy.
All right.
I think there's one inside your brain.
A brain mole?
All right. That's it.
So
Bye,
long,
everybody.
This week on After Hours. Left and
Who
right.
cancels through?
A dream alive, it doesn't come true. Yeah.
She's not
Yeah.
a joker, dude.
I'm not a joker.
Sometimes After Hours feels like I'm on a bad date with Ben.
Oh, bad dates are tough.
Sign up on tmgstudios.tv to watch the full bonus episodes.